This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
The 500 curse lives on. It lives on. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition and a losing edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live as always after every single Angels game, including crazy frustrating ones like this one, right here live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 years with the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and one half of this team played phenomenal tonight. 11 hits, 9 runs. Surely you won, right? Surely you won, or surely it was a game in extra innings or a game that you lost by a run or two, right? No. This game was over before the Angels even came up in the bottom of the 9th inning because the Nats put up 15 runs on 19 hits. I'm going to say that one more time for you guys. 15 runs on 19 hits. And for that to happen in general, it's frustrating. Yes, Nathan, surely I can't be serious, right? For that to happen in general, it's unacceptable. For that to happen against this Nationals team that just had a very, very rough series against the Padres, just got shut out recently as well. Unbelievable, right? Very surprising. And for it to come against my guy, our guy, Jose Soriano, of all starting pitchers, just even more shocking. So we're going to jump into this one. Before we do, shout out to everybody in here. See a lot of the familiar faces, even though it's late. I mean, this game was a long one. I think it was over 3 hours, but shout out to everybody in here, 10, 11 p.m., and we still got a strong crowd. A lot of the familiar faces, some new ones as well. But with all that being said, I'm gonna catch you guys off guard a little bit here. You might think I would go player of the game. Maybe it's Hunter Strickland, player of the game for the Nationals, right? But I'm actually going to change things up here and go with America's favorite segment. It's the Turning Point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the Turning Point.
Yeah, because for me, in my opinion, despite the Nationals putting up a combined 10 runs in innings 5 through 9, 3 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and 4 in the 9th. And you can make an argument that the 4 in the 9th against Hunter Strickland were the biggest runs of this ball game, because we know the Angels this season have been phenomenal in terms of scoring runs in late innings. I mean, coming back from a two-run deficit in the bottom of the 9th, certainly not something the Angels are not capable of this season, especially with guys like Joe Adell and Christian Moore and Logan O'Hoppe sometimes, and Nolan Shinewell for sure, swinging the bat the way they have been recently, right? But for me, I'm not going to say it was any of those 10 runs in innings 5 through 9. I'm going to say it's the top of the 4th inning, because the Angels lineup, just like it has done all season, even during losses, but really, especially during the recent success, the ability to respond to deficits, the ability to be resilient as a lineup, it has quietly become one of the strongest points of this team, right? For the Angels to fall behind 2-0, immediately score a run, right? Then still down 2-1, Soriano puts up a 0 on the top of the 3rd, and then to have a huge 4-run bottom of the 3rd inning to go up 5-2. You have 2 home runs. Joe Adell continues to be unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was just talking with my friend about, he's actually here in the room right now. I'll go ahead and expose him right now. But the fact that Joe Adell, he's got 11 home runs on the month. The batting average is around 240, a little bit below that. And yet he's still actually underperforming the expected numbers, right? Expecting batting average almost at 270. The expected slug is over 500, right? He's been unbelievable in terms of hitting the ball hard. And it was so great. We talked about it on the Daily Show today. And also do have to say, quick plug, if any of you did not see it yet, on this very channel, finally join the Super Halo Bros for a daily show this morning, Fan Mail Friday. Go check it out if you haven't already. But we were talking about on there, what has changed for Joe Adell? And I said it's him hitting the ball to the opposite field, right? He's talked about during batting practice, all he tries to do is hit every single ball to right center field or down the right field line. And so for him to, again, get it done with the home run, to have the ability to go opposite field multiple times in this game was very impressive, right? But in this bottom of the third inning, we see Jo Adell lead off the inning with a home run to right center field. Yes, 372, bit of a lucky one, but we will take it. And then for the lineup to keep doing what it was doing, right? In the bottom of the third, we go Rengifo double, Sean Newell 2-run homer. Mike Trout gets on via the walk. It seems like that's the only way he gets on base lately. And then Taylor Ward with home run number 20. Scores Trout. It's 5-2 Angels, despite the early 2-0 deficit. The lineup did their job. They did their job, and they didn't even wait till the late innings to do it like they normally do. They did their job right away to have a 5-2 lead. And so for Soriano to come back up in the top of the fourth, after you've gotten that run support that he hasn't gotten very much this season, and for him to instantly fall apart in the top of the fourth, very frustrating, right? Anytime, like I always say, anytime you start with a leadoff walk against a guy you should not walk, the baseball gods are going to make you pay. And to have a 5-pitch walk against Josh Bell to start the inning, you give him a base hit to Brady House. He absolutely rips one, 106.7 exit velo. And then another tough play here. You have a chopper to Nolan Schanuel. If that ball is hit differently, it's probably a double play. Because it was a chopper, you can only get the out at second. But Soriano gets right there. He strikes out Riley Adams. There's 2 out. You're right there. Runners on the corners, 2 on, 2 out. You have an ability to still put up that 0, to stay up 5-2. And trust me, if he puts up a 0 in this inning, even seeing what the Nationals end up doing the rest of this game, I'm pretty confident the Angels win this ball game. If you're up 5-2, going into the fifth, knowing how hot a lot of the lineup, the bats in this lineup are, knowing the energy that was at the big day today. And no, I'm not talking about that stupid Christmas in June. I'm talking about the fact that the Angels have the opportunity to finally go above 500 for the first time since game 21 on the season, right? But with 2 outs and 2 on, instead of getting out of the inning, like we've seen Soriano do many times, right? He's not someone who does not allow guys to get on base. He always does, but he seems to find a way to get out of it. Not in this one. Jacob Young with one of the biggest swings of the game, and there was many, 19 hits to be exact, but this was one of the biggest ones. A 2-out double down the left field line that scores both. Clears the bases. It's 5-4. Even then, you're thinking, okay, it's 5-4. Soriano's going to get out of the inning after that. You're still going to have a one-run lead. Thank God we have all the run support we have. But no, C.J. Abrams with a 2-out single. We get him in a pickle after that, but it doesn't matter. At this point, the Nationals have tied the game, and now you're thinking, okay, it's back to being a coin flip game. And despite me being a broken record the past 2 weeks in terms of saying, let's make every game a coin flip game, we've been able to win those lately, right? One of the best teams in one-run games in the entire majors, but not against this team. I was saying that against the Yankees, right? I was saying that against the Red Sox, who are an average team. The Nationals are a below-average team coming off a horrible offensive showing. And so I don't want a coin flip game. This should have been a game we control. And we had an opportunity to do it at 5-2, right? So that's why, in my opinion, the turning point is that 3-run top of the fourth. It ties the game at 5. And the irony is, guess what? The Angels lineup still did what the Angels lineup does. It still immediately responded with more runs. They take the lead again in the bottom of the fourth. Christian Moore, the man himself, the moment, the flight reacts emote guy with the leadoff single, despite Kevin Newman grounding out. Luis Rengifo in the leadoff spot. Don't know how I feel about it. He had a great game. He's able to hit in Christian Moore. It's 6-5 Angels. And then Mike Trout, the guy who we roast for never having RBI singles. We even got a Mike Trout RBI single in this ball game to make it 7-5. The vibes are back. They're great at the Big A. It's 7-5 Angels going into the fifth inning. Soriano still has an opportunity to put up a 0 in the fifth. We have a lead. You feel good. Get deep enough for the ball game so that even our shaky bullpen doesn't have to do too much. But no, the Soriano collapse continues. In the top of the fifth, James Wood, leadoff single, just absolutely rips a sinker right down the middle. It's a lot of speed on the bases. Then Luis Garcia takes not a terrible pitch, a sinker on the outside corner, another base hit. And then the other big swing and big performer of the game, Nathaniel Lowe, with an RBI double. Probably would have been 2 RBIs if there wasn't 0 outs and they were a little more aggressive on the bases. But that was all she wrote for Soriano. That made it 7-6. You still have a lead, but let's be honest. I don't care who we brought in, even if we brought in a guy like Reed Detmers. He's maybe the only one you could trust to somehow get out of this situation. But unfortunately, the current state of the bullpen is with 2 on and nobody out in a one-run ball game, we're bringing in Connor freaking Brogdon. And so falls behind 2-0, has to throw one right at the letters to Josh Bell. Tall guy. He likes that. He grounds out, but he scores Luis Garcia. That makes it 7-7. And then Dalen Lell comes in, for runner on second, 2 outs. Brogdon's still in the ball game. He absolutely hangs a changeup. And despite it being a weak blooper to right field, Lamont Wade is hardly a right fielder. He's not going to make that play and get to that ball. And just like that, it's 8-7. I don't know about you, but at that point, I kind of went, the fact that we are already, well into our bullpen, Connor Brogdon already with 20 to 30 pitches, and we're now down 8-7, the likelihood of us winning this game, it goes down drastically. And then guess what? I sound like a broken record. The Angels still took the lead again. Another huge inning for them. Joe Adell with the base hit. Lamont Wade with a 1-out walk. They take out Irvin. They put in Cole Henry. Christian Moore takes a walk in a big moment like he has done multiple times lately. Kevin Newman, we're able to get a lucky error. The Nats doing everything they can to give us a gift, a 2-run error. Just like that, it's 9-8 Angels. And you think this team is still going to find a way. This is a magical month of June that even in games where you don't deserve to win, we're probably going to win another one, right? But then another huge swing that didn't go the Angels' way. Runners on the corners, 1 out, and Luis Rengifo grounds into a double play. You think if it's a 10-8 ball game, an 11-8 ball game, surely the Angels can't blow it, but they ground out into a double play. It's 9-8, and then that's all she wrote because then the bullpen just absolutely collapsed, and 9-8 Angels became 15-9 Nationals. Sheesh, I feel like that was the most play-by-play post-game show I've ever done for you guys. Just so much to talk about, and there's still 6 more runs that the Nationals scored. We'll get to that after the break. We will make sure to give a little bit more credit to this lineup because a lot of guys with really good performances. I mean, to have 4 guys with 2 hits in this game, to have 2 guys with home runs in this ball game, or 3 guys with home runs in this ball game, and to not even be close in the 9th inning. It's absolutely unbelievable. We'll get to that after our break here on a pretty depressed edition, I'm not going to lie, of the Locked On Angels Postcast. I'll be right back. Now, on this Friday, today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's a game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes it possible, and it makes buying tickets fast and simple because prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch. They've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for an exciting upcoming MLB game or really any event, right? Whether it's a concert, a game, a show, they do theater, plays, musicals, everything on Game Time. My favorite feature is the Game Time Picks feature where, you go on these other places, and I'm not going to mention them because I don't think I'm allowed to, but you go on these other apps and they've got every single listed ticket, right? Even the ones that are $300 more than they should be, right? Not on Game Time. Game Time Picks, it filters out the fluff, only shows you the best prices on the best seats. You don't have to waste your time on all those horrible postings, right? So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Back here live on what surely is a victory edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, right? I mean, the Angels put up 9 runs on 11 hits. Surely they won this ball game, right? No, it actually wasn't even close in the bottom of the 9th because the Nats put up 19 runs, or not 19 runs, 19 hits, 15 runs. They gifted the Angels a few runs via an error. The Angels with 11 hits, but they don't even come close in the bottom of the 9th because of a horrible Jose Soriano start, probably his worst of the season. Goes just 4 innings, 9 hits, 2 walks, 8 earned runs, gave up that home run. It's a frustrating one for him, but it got so much worse with the bullpen. Brogdon comes in. He gives up an earned run in his inning in the 3rd. Brock Burke, the only guy that doesn't give up an earned run, he does give up 2 hits and gets 1 strikeout, and then it just continues to be bad, right? Sam Bachman comes in. Would love to see him continue to have a hot start, but no, he gives up a hit and an earned run. He had a walk as well. Neris comes in, technically doesn't have an earned run against him, but did give up a run, did give up a hit and a walk as well. And then Hunter Strickland, puts a cherry on top for the Washington Nationals. And again, we'll shout out my friend in the room here. He was calling it while we're watching the game. He said, Hunter Strickland, man, this guy, the ERA is under 2, but you look at some of the underlying numbers, the K percentage, the walk percentage, the fact that this guy throws the same pitch 35% of the time, a slider that's very inconsistent. He relies on weak contact, and there was no weak contact in this one. 4 hits, 2 walks, 4 earned runs in the top of the 9th, and that really put it out of reach. Because again, if the Angels were down 11-9 going into the bottom of the 9th, we have seen this team win that game multiple times this year, right? And at the very least, you have the shot. But they didn't even have a shot in the bottom of the 9th because Strickland gives up 4. The Angels fall behind 15-9, and that was all she wrote. Now, we do have to give some credit to multiple guys in this lineup that did come through. And again, quick plug, if anyone hasn't already, make sure you check out today's daily show on the channel where we talked about the Angels and the decisions they need to make at the deadline. Do we trade a Taylor Ward? Do we trade or find a replacement for a Luis Rengifo, right? Well, guess what? A lot of guys quieted us in this one. Taylor Ward goes 1 for 5, but he has the home run, 2 RBIs for him. And Luis Rengifo, he's hitting leadoff with Neto still hurt. It was good to see Neto come in this ball game after getting that MRI on the shoulder. Certainly was swinging hard, so seems like he's okay. But for Rengifo, a guy that's been struggling, a sub 570 OPS coming into this ball game. But he goes 2 for 4 in the leadoff spot with the walk as well. He gets an RBI. He gets 2 runs. He does everything you want to see from a leadoff hitter. And quite frankly, everything we've been wanting to see from Luis Rengifo all season after what he did last year, especially in the first half. This is a good sign. He's slowly heating up. And again, in a loss like this, where so many things went wrong on the pitching side and defensively, the fact that you can have plenty of positive talking points in terms of the lineup, and not just certain guys, not just the guys we expect from at this point. I mean, Nolan Schanuel, for him to go 2 for 5 with another 2 RBIs, for him to hit a home run, right? Schanuel with a double and a home run. This is a guy that's supposed to not hit the ball hard, not be an extra base hit guy. And by the way, we don't need him to be one. We have plenty of those guys. But for him to do both of those things, gosh, you're feeling great about him. You're feeling great about Taylor Ward. We know you're feeling great about Joe Adell. But for Logan O'Hoppe, who's been brutal and is quietly heating up, for him to go 2 for 5 in this one, for Rengifo to go 2 for 4 in this one, Christian Moore continues to be a very competent big league hitter, at least the last week. I know he's only hitting 190, but for you to be hitting 190 and have a 723 OPS because you have another hit, another run, another 2 walks today, he's been competent. Now, unfortunately, that final spot that will be replaced by Neto once he comes back of Newman and Kingery, yeah, that's brutal. We know that's brutal. But the moral of the story is the lineup looked great tonight. You only had 7 strikeouts, which has got to be one of the lower numbers all year for this Angels team. 6 walks, one of the highest numbers outside of that Walker Buehler game a couple nights ago where he walked 7 himself and the Red Sox walked 11. But 6 walks, only 7 strikeouts, 11 hits. You had everything. You had small ball, you had manufacturing runs, you had some luck because the Nationals not only had a 2-run error, but they also, CJ Abrams fumbled what should have been a double play. Couple questionable decisions by them in this one as well. So the Angels, really everything went right offensively. Hit for contact. You got on via the walk. You didn't strike out much. You still had 3 home runs, a bunch of doubles, O'Hoppe, Rengifo, and Schanuel with doubles, and you still lose the game. It's frustrating, but there's still positives there. And hopefully the moral of the story is you are going to need this probably the rest of the series because if Jose Soriano isn't getting it done against this lineup, I don't know how I'm going to feel about a guy like Jack Iwanowitz coming up in this series, or even a Kyle Hendricks, right? So we will see the moral of the story, good things from the lineup. And I'm not going to be one of those guys who's, a halo honk saying, hey, look at all this positivity, even in a loss. But this is one of those rare moments where there's certainly plenty of good despite the loss. Anytime you can put up 9 freaking runs. It is frustrating. The 500 curse continues right when the Angels get to 40-40. Would have been a perfect game, a perfect one to go over 500, right? Exactly halfway through the season now. You would have been 41-40, finally back over 500, right at the halfway mark. Unfortunately, you're now just slightly under it, but still coming into the series, what was the goal? Go 2-3, finally be above 500, going into a big series in Atlanta, and you'll really learn about this team in the upcoming stretch when you do play against the Braves for 3. Then you've got the Blue Jays for 3, and then we will learn that if this was just a lucky month of June or if this is a real team, especially when you go into a huge 4-game series at home against the Rangers before finishing up the first half with 3 at home as well against the Diamondbacks, right? Or the Diamondbacks, excuse me. If you can have this 500 record or be slightly above 500 going into that 7-game homestand right before the All-Star break, that's exactly what you want. And that is still absolutely a possibility. Now, it's interesting. We've got people like Robert in here saying we are worse than our record. I mean, there's certainly that argument could be made, right? This team is bottom 5 in terms of batting average. The bullpen, bottom 5 in terms of ERA, right? But if you talk about being in the top 3 or 4 really all season in terms of home runs, right? And if you talk about the potential that this team still has with most of the team being young, right? It's an interesting conversation. We've been really good in 1-score games. I do think an aspect of that is luck. Anytime it's 1-run games in baseball, that is going to be part of it. But this is also a clutch team, right? They have had plenty of clutch swings all season. So I don't know seeing funny comments here from the guy in the room. Yes, I'm going to expose him. This guy is in the room. But at the end of the day, no, La Habra, to say maybe the Dodgers series was a fluke. I mean, was it a fluke that we swept the Dodgers? Maybe. But to say it was a fluke like, hey, just because we lost 1 game to the Nationals, it was a fluke. No, come on. This team has been playing good baseball as of late. We just swept the Red Sox. We're playing good baseball, right? Do we deserve to be 40-41? I don't know. But at worst, this is a 35-45 team. This is not a horrible baseball team. The upside is still there. We just need them to be more consistent. And how ironic. We're begging for the lineup to be more consistent. It was the pitching staff that let us down tonight. We will be fine. We'll be back here tomorrow and Sunday. Hopefully we can win both. And if we win both, guess what? We're 42-41. We're right back above 500 like we've been begging to be. And we're right where we want to be going into the month of July. It would be perfect. The opportunity is still there. We got to get it done. But shout out to everybody in here. A frustrating one that this happens in a Soriano start. Hopefully we can improve tomorrow. It'll be another, I mean, if this was a high-scoring game, then you certainly expect tomorrow to be one. Kyle Hendricks, 5-6, 4.83 ERA against Soroka, who's 3-5 with a 5.06 ERA. So if this game was 15-9, tomorrow's going to be a football score, 21-14 or something like that. That's what we should expect. But we'll see you back here tomorrow and Sunday. We're still going to go 2-1. Vinny is right. We're going 2-1. We're going to be over 500. I refuse to see otherwise. Angels win, I disagree. This is still a 34-48 Nationals team. Have the confidence that we are going to win 2 in a row. Let's do it. Take care. Angel says goodnight, Gavin and Davin. Love it. Have a great rest of your Friday night. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Actually, I'll be honest, 50-50 on tomorrow. I am actually going to a concert, so I will not be able to do tomorrow's show. Hopefully, we may have a fill-in. If not, I will see you guys Sunday. Regardless, tomorrow is 50-50. We will see. I will let you guys know as always. But shout out to everybody in here. Leave a like, comment, all that good stuff. And if you haven't already, please go watch, go like, and go comment on today's Fan Mail Friday that I did with the Super Halo Bros right here on this channel. Take care. Have a great rest of your Friday night, and I'll see you on Sunday. Take care. Keep your head up. We'll be all right.